Good morning, guys. So we're just kind of waiting for critical mass here to kind of join us before we get started. Yeah, just waiting for some folks to kind of join, and then we'll get started. I do have the risk disclosure up, and I'm also going to see. I'm going to go ahead and post my Twitter handle so you can receive the notifications there as I. Morning, Keith. So if you are new to the room and would like to get notifications going forward of when I do these, I'm generally here Monday through Friday, an hour before the start of the New York session. Okay. And so, yeah, if you would like to get notifications, you do appreciate the content I provide. Don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button. And also hit the like button in all these locations that I've posted the content. Okay. So just to kind of paraphrase what I have on the screen here, guys, I'm not going to read this verbatim, but just want to understand, or I actually want to communicate that I'm not here in any sort of advisory capacity, that the information that I'm presenting here as the market trader is to be treated as general information, and that none of the information is intended as investment advice. Offer, sell, offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, instrument, or fund. Okay, we all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk, and and the investor could potentially lose all or more of their investor's initial investment capital, and that as investors we should only be risking capital that will not, if we lost it, jeopardize one's financial security. Okay. So that said, let's go ahead and start in on the news. So we're going to stop sharing here, stop sharing, and open up the news portal that I use for my news. So right here, click on share, and then go to economic calendar, and I'm going to double check. Still looks like I'm still showing. See, economic calendar is up. Okay. Let's go ahead and filter the economic calendar with only U.S. news. So we're going to filter this down here for it to clear it all clearer. And we're going to filter it just for U.S. news. And we're going to select 2 and 3 star events here. Okay. Click on apply and go back to the top of the screen. And you can see what we got going on today. Well, we have a bunch of news that's being reported as we speak. We have initial jobless claims, which came in about 8,000 applicants higher than prior weeks, which obviously is not a good sign. Continuous jobless claims is still higher. Okay. So that's obviously another piece of news that, but the market for now doesn't seem to care. Let's see, what else? What other news do we have? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We do have a couple of Feds speaking here at 7:30, and then at the close of the market. So the only other event that I would add to this list is the 10 a.m. Option expiration that potentially has an impact on the markets. Okay, so 10 a.m. Eastern expiration of European options that have any sort of correlation to or could potentially impact futures. Okay, All right, so now that we've gotten the news out of the way, let's pull our attention to the markets. Go ahead and select this and select share, and double confirm that everyone can see this. Move this down over here. Okay, so I do see confirmation that it is visible. All right, welcome, Reading Tiger. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and start with the market that just opened. Okay, so we'll get that news out there, or get that information and analysis out there earlier. Okay, so we start with the daily chart here. All right, we always start with kind of a macro view of the markets, just to get a feel for kind of what direction that we're headed. Well, here we are. I'm going to move this away here for a second. So here we are, kind of continuing to create. We did make an attempt to go higher above this level, and so far it has been rejected. All right, sellers have kind of stepped in and kept prices at bay. Or here, we don't know exactly how this is going to close. What I will say is that should this close above, then it opens up the opportunity for price to continue to its highs, right? I don't see anything in its way here. When I say close, I just close above, let's call it 2389.5. If we get a close at the end of the day above 2389.5, then that opens the door for us to go back and retest the highs here at 2460, 24, maybe up to 2480. Okay, that opens the door up for that. Okay, so but we do need to see, or we do need to have a close above this consolidation area that we have below. Okay, so that's kind of what we're seeing on the daily. I would say again continues to be kind of rangy. Okay, we're seeing range kind of price action in the gold market, right? Which makes for, I guess, a bit more challenging in trade. Okay, so we'll just continue to look at 2390 and 2340. That's kind of the range, right? Until we're proven otherwise, until the market tells us that it's ready to make another leg up in this case, or whether it's going to continue in this range. All right. For our chart, it's not really giving us too much more in the way of insight here. We do have the initial balance range that's been, let's see, we're going to go ahead and turn that off here for a second until we get to the 30-minute chart. All right, so like I said, we do have a close, right? The daily was kind of a wick, but we do have, no, not quite a close yet of this 2389 level. All right, we've made an attempt here, relatively strong attempt to get above it, and was rejected twice. All right, now we're back down to an area of support, an area close to an area of what was resistance, right? This 2371, 2372 level. All right, that could prove to be supportive for, again, another leg higher. Okay, so if right here, what I'm referring to as far as prior resistance is this area right here, right? This area right here has been we've breached and closed above. Okay, so now we're kind of in this grind to the downside. And we'll see if buyers again step in and say, okay, well, 2371 is a price that I'd like to add to my portfolio. All right, we're talking institutions, hedge funds, portfolio managers that manage big money. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and open up the 30-minute chart. I'm going to shorten this so that I don't lose access to this. And we're going to go ahead and move into the 30-minute chart. All right, so 30-minute chart. Again, we are below some levels here and above others, right? So we are currently below settlement price. I'm going to go ahead and open up initial balance here. All right. So the initial balance range is currently being established in gold. All right. We are below VWAP, above settlement price. Let's see where we are in reference to fixed range volume profile. So I'm going to go ahead and click on fixed range volume profile. I'm going to go ahead and locate the let's see, the 830. There you go. Drag that across to the 430, and here we are. So looks like we are reacting away. Okay, we've reacted away from a couple of areas. Okay, we have value area high, which I'm about to draw in blue. Okay, that's value area high, and we have let's just turn off ASR and let's turn on ADR. Okay, so we're a ways away. We've already reacted overnight away from ADR. Okay. And now we've come back down and reacted off of settlement. Okay. So settlement and value area high, a couple of areas of confluence here. Now, in order to really support, this kind of bullish price action, we'll need to see that we are able to close above VWAP. Okay, here, right? So right now we have VWAP. Okay, right here, the blue line is VWAP. We need to see a close above VWAP. Now, not only would that give me a couple of pieces of information here. One, that it's able to get above VWAP. Two, that would be initiative because that would cause price to exceed the current initial balance range. All right. So if we manage to get above this range, then we open up the opportunity to revisit, right, that same range that we've been talking about back up to the tops here, okay, of ADR, and maybe continue to kind of potentially move back up and down through this area, okay? So let's see. So we have ADR. Okay, let's start calling out what some of these levels are. So we have ADR high. Okay, ADR high here is we're going to call it 2392.7. 2392.7. Settlement is 2375.3. We have ADR low at 2357.9. Now let's go ahead and turn off ADR, average daily range, and turn on ASR. And so we are above. Okay, so we have 2373.5. Okay, above. This might get adjusted here later. 2375.5, and we have 2350.6. All right. So those are the ASR. Sorry, I meant to. That's actually should have gone down to the same. So 2350.6 is kind of what we're looking at as far as ASR low. All right. So what are some hypos? Well, we are above value, so we probably need to discuss a couple of bullish scenarios. I've already mentioned one of them, right? If we do get a break above this value VWAP, right? If we can close above VWAP, I'm almost inclined here to start a anchored VWAP here at the this reversal area off of settlement. I'll go ahead and do that. All right. So if we could stay above this anchored VWAP and eventually get above this the standard VWAP, okay, then or daily VWAP, then we have the potential of getting back up to this ADR range that we had talked about earlier. All right. Okay, there's an opportunity there. Okay, maybe beyond. Okay. On the bearish side, well, we're at a level now. If we do close inside value, that we have to contend with the ASR high, but if assuming we can get past that, then we have maybe the potential to kind of traverse the entire range. We have some levels below us that could prove to be what is this here? This is an EMA, I believe, maybe an older an older anchored VWAP that I had drawn earlier. Okay, so we have the potential of a reversal long down here at ADR low. We could have a potential short off of VWAP currently. All right. So those are a couple of scenarios here that I would like to see a close back inside value. Okay, and maybe below settlement price, maybe below this structure to really kind of embrace this short action that we're seeing here. Okay, currently. All right. Let's see if there's anything else that I should be sharing as far as opportunity or levels that it would be of interest. No, I'm not seeing much of that at the moment. All right, so we're about 15 minutes away here from closing below this. This might be another area where I might want to draw an anchored VWAP. So I'll go ahead and do that. Right up here, up at the top, right off of ADR high. Okay, so these are kind of my two competing, kind of levels here, right? So this one actually is starting to show some respect, right? So we have price head lower, it came off VWAP, anchor VWAP, came up again, reacted away from it, came up again, reacted away from it. So this is serving as kind of a reference level for further action to the downside. Okay, would like to see price get below this structure, and then once we're below this structure, once it's shown that sort of a definitive initiative action below initial balance, then maybe I'd be willing to participate maybe in an IB edge or maybe to the bottom side of some of these ASR levels that we have displayed. Okay. But until that happens, if it's going to continue kind of staying in this range, I'm going to, sit on the sidelines and wait for that, wait for some sort of conviction to happen. Right. Okay. I think that's all I have for gold. All right. So let's go ahead and open up the crude oil market. Where is it? I think it's this here. All right. Okay, so let's open up the daily here. Daily, right here. All right, and we're going to expand this out. All right, so we made a pretty good push yesterday. Closed an engulfing candle, off of some, I would say, kind of recent lows. Okay, not quite to the low of the lows, right down here at like $70, looks like 70, maybe down to, looks like about 70. So we've reacted away from that. Right, we had a very strong bullish engulfing candle. I think crude oil for the most part was up all day yesterday in yesterday's session, and now we have a developing candle here to the bullish side. Right now we're still not technically out of the woods with respect to the bears. Right, this could merely be some sort of retracement here, and so we could get something. Again, we're still talking daily here, guys, but it's important to know where these daily levels live. Right, so I would say that if price were to come back to this 77 level, that it could be met with some resistance because it was supportive in the past. Right, so anywhere in this area could cause the market to continue lower. Right, I know that we're well below that 76, 77 level, but it's good to anticipate where these daily levels are. We also have the EMA at 67. That's also a barometer for me on bullish versus bearish. Right, so if I'm above the 233-day EMA, I'm generally, my view of the market is bullish. If I'm below, then my view of the market is bearish. So if price were to come back to the 77 level, 77 will be an important level for me in the crude oil market, because that could be an area where I can take a relatively low amount of risk and participate in a continuation trade to the downside. All right, let's look at the 4-hour chart. for our chart. Looks like it's trying to continue to grind higher. Let's remove some of these drawings here. A little too busy for me. Where's ADR here? Okay, let's turn off ADR and let's turn off initial balance for now. Still prior to the market, we're 10 minutes away. All right, so for our chart, we just get a little bit more visibility as to these candles. Right now, to me, it looks more corrective than initiative. Okay, so we still are very much inside this swing to the downside. All right. So right now, this looks more corrective to me. So like I said, I would probably be inclined to do something like this. Right. So far, kind of grinding to the upside. Right. Now it could reach an area that I have drawn here in green, which probably should be redrawn as red now that it's been crossed. Okay. So this area right here is kind of flipped polarity here, right? Because it's broken. So a level of support, right? So when we get across and close above prior area, this area reverses or switches polarity from supportive to resistant. Okay, so again, this area between 76 and 77 also exhibiting here on the 4-hour chart. All right, 30-minute chart. Okay, so 30-minute chart. Here we are. We're close to this EMA on the 30-minute chart. We have again this kind of bearish channel that I've drawn here. Probably need to adjust it here to accommodate the 30-minute chart. So let's kind of do that a little bit. I'm not liking. So I try to capture as many of the bodies as I can when I draw these channels. Okay. I'm not super concerned about the wicks. Okay. I'm not worried about the wicks of the candles leaving the channel. That doesn't bother me, but I do want to capture as many opens and closes, okay, as I can. All right. More touches, more I feel like I have this captured here. So we have, I guess, a bit of a double top forming in crude oil, right, which could lead us to lower prices here. Okay. And then we have, the 233-day EMA in the horizon, right? So like I said, as long as we stay in this channel, then the idea is that it's going to remain either, kind of, I guess, bullish or corrective, however you want to refer to it, because again, the larger swing here remains down, right? We're starting to make some, headway, making some new structure to the upside, but the big one here is the 77, right? Until we get above 77, we're really not making much, difference, in sentiment, right? This still feels bearish, okay, to me, all right? Although we are at a level that, has created some demand, okay, in the market, all right? So let's go ahead and open up fixed range volume profile here. So fixed range volume profile, we're going to go ahead and locate the 9 o'clock bar from Wednesday. Yes. 9 o'clock bar from Wednesday. There it is. We're going to drag that across to the 1330 bar or 430 bar. Here we are. So we are technically above, right? Let's kind of stretch this out here. I think this is kind of a little bit on the small side. I'm going to stretch this out as much as I can, kind of make it nice and wide here. So we have a, kind of a strongish, bearish engulfing candle that's being developed here on the 30-minute. As I mentioned, this kind of feels like is developing a bit of a double top, and the arrow is pointing in the direction that I'm kind of seeing it right now. So let's see here. We're going to go ahead and draw in the value area high, because that value area high, could, you see how it reacted off of it once. It could react it off of it again, right? Or it could potentially close back inside, at which point we could look for settlement, offering some level of support. All right. Or it could traverse all the way, make its way all the way through value area. right? That's kind of the value area acceptance, okay? Right? So right now, those are, I guess, a couple of scenarios that I'm looking at. Let's go ahead and open up ADR. Okay, so we have ADR. We haven't reached it on the top side. ADR in this case is quite close to this 233-day EMA. So I'm going to go ahead and capture ADR high here. ADR high here is 75.22. 75.22 on the high side. And then we have ADR low is 73.38. Okay, 73.38. Okay, we have settlement at 74.07. Okay, that was one of these levels that we were looking at on some of our longs, and I think we may even said that 75 was still in the cards for crude oil. So 74.07 rings a bell. I think was my prior target. I think that we used for some other trades for our earlier trade in the week. All right. So let's hide this and let's turn on this. So we got 74.33 on the high side, 74.33 ASR. And we got ASR low here at 72.93. So 72.93, 72.93. All right. So we've already kind of talked through a couple of scenarios. I think I had mentioned that, there's, the double top that's forming. We could see an extension of this into, we've already had one reversal and we're right back at this level again. Okay. The bulls were not able to make a new high, right? You see here, they were not able to make a new high. And when they were not able to make a new high, well, what happened? Sellers stepped into the market. All right. So we have sellers kind of driving this price lower. We're about 3 minutes away from the open. All right. So it'll be interesting to see how this closes. And like I said, and also interested to see how it reacts off of settlement price. So settlement price looks like certainly a target. Okay. Now, if we do get below value area high here. Now, if my view of the market is a bit more bullish, well, then I need to start looking at prices here lower, right? So we have, settlement price could offer. We have the anchor VWAP from a prior anchor that I've drawn here. This area right here is an area that I would probably potentially want to draw an anchored VWAP. So again, is hovering around this settlement price, right? Okay, we have a confluence here between anchor VWAP and settlement. So that could be an area for a potential reversal, all right? And otherwise, ASR low is another area for potential reversal. We see to the left that we have some buyers here. The other one that I want to call out here as I'm watching this, I do see a level here. Let's see right here. Okay, what was prior resistance becomes supportive. All right, around this 73.65 level. This level here could also provide, kind of a bounce here or a bounce here or a bounce down here. Now, these make for, nice targets, okay, for any sort of bearish trade that we may want to entertain. We do need to get through some of the structure here to kind of really embrace that, okay, to be honest. Otherwise, we run the potential of kind of remaining in kind of a range in crude oil. All right. Let's go ahead if there's no questions. All right. So again, guys, so don't be afraid to hit the like button if some of this stuff is resonating with you. I do see that I have about 27 folks in the room and only about 50% saying that they like what they're listening or hearing. Reading Tiger, are you new to me? Your name is. Good morning. Are you new to this chat? Okay, while I wait for an answer, we'll go ahead and move on to the markets. Oh, Claybone. All right. Hey, Frank. Hey, good morning, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and move into the let's go ahead and turn on initial balance because the market has already started to open here, I think. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to the equity markets. Yes, this is what Himachi is here for. You like the channel, not the markets? Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and open up the equity market and go to the market that everybody's wanting to understand. And that is, oops, that's not the one I wanted. Let's go back. Bum, bum, bum. Come on now. A little slow. Okay. That's kind of odd. All right. Well, we'll make do. Looks like I got my markets all whacked out here. So we're going to go ahead and open up the NASDAQ. All right. So we're seeing some reaction here off the top. Okay. We've been in a pretty steady climb of late. Right. So daily chart. All right. We have kind of a little bit of an indecisive bar after a massive break of new structure here to the upside. Okay. So is this kind of a momentary kind of respite for a continued move higher? We'll have to see, but a little bit of indecision here at the moment for the day in the Nasdaq, right? So we've broken some new levels to the high side. I'm not going to even look to the left because I know that we're kind of charting, uncharted territories. All right. Now, so what do I do with a market like this that has really no top? Well, I have to kind of look to see if I can find some swings here, and I don't see one here on the daily. Well, maybe one will develop here in a higher time frame chart, in a lower time frame chart. But yeah, we don't have any reference levels on the left hand side to gauge how far this market can go. Okay. I was almost inclined to kind of do this swing, but I'm afraid that it's going to, bias you too much. So we'll look at the 4-hour chart here. All right. So we made a series of really nothing bars. Okay. Here. So this kind of really doesn't, qualify as really a retracement. Right. We've gone kind of range here of late in the NASDAQ after a pretty significant swing, okay, to the upside. Okay. So, market remains bullish, although right now we're in a range, right? We've been in range here for the last 16 hours. Okay. 30 minutes. Okay. 30 minutes is going to give us more rangy behavior, right? This is the kind of range that we really have a tough time with participating in, right? So I'm not really inclined to, participate in this range until I see a definitive move one way or the other. When I mean by definitive move, I need a closed candle. I need a closed candle. Thank you, Carson. I appreciate your efforts here. Okay. I need to see a closed candle outside of this consolidation range to really, make a statement here, right? Right now, this is where trading combines come die, right? If I participate in this kind of market, well, I'm just going to get cut up, and cut up, right? So this is not an area that I would like to participate in, and I'm not really keen on picking a direction. If I had to, pick a direction at these levels, I would probably be more inclined to say up rather than down, right? But I'm not, for an up move, I'm really not interested in taking this kind of risk, right? I need to find a little bit better reference level for me to participate long in this market. All right. So let's go ahead and start drawing some of these reference levels that we use to support. All right. So we go 9:30 Wednesday all the way to here. All right. So we're right at the edge of value area high. Okay. Now, if we do close below settlement, okay, I see a very nice you know, how you say, value area acceptance play potential, right? Right? Value area acceptance play that will traverse the entire range, or at least up to this anchored VWAP, right? So there's a nice opportunity brewing, okay, for a potential value area acceptance, right? There was one attempt to go lower and it's been rejected. Buyers stepped in. Now the question is, how many buyers are still remaining, right? But so one scenario, as I mentioned, could be, you know, price closing inside, making its way potentially through this entire range, which would make for a very, very good short trade. Okay. If I'm more inclined on the bullish side, well, I have, although I don't really use it all that much because it's somewhat inconsistent, but point of control, I'm going to draw this in red, right? Could be an area, right? That could be supportive. Settlement price is, we're already there. We're just not reacting away from it the way we would expect, possibly because settlement is such a high price. So what's the next level of support? Well, we have point of control, right? We have the VWAP, right? These are all potential levels of support. Now it's pretty far down the market here, okay? That's, again, to really support and embrace the longs at a good reference level, at a good risk reward. That's kind of what we need to wait for. Otherwise, my inclination is maybe there's an opportunity, okay? If we do close, I say significant close below settlement, again, offers opportunities and some rich targets down to the downside, okay? Right? Because right now we're at pretty, I would call pretty retail prices when it comes to longs. Okay, this is as retail as they get. Yeah, let's go ahead and open up ADR here. Right now we have ASR, so let's turn this off. Turn on ADR. Okay, so again, we're right smack in the middle of the range, right? So we can go either direction, either this way or this way, right? If we go this way, well, this is a reference level to fade the market. If we're thinking more long, well, we have a level down here that also has a confluence around anchor VWAP. Yes, we're sitting right smack in the middle, and I don't know about you guys, I'm not interested. Okay, no bueno. All right, no estoy interesado for those Spanish-speaking people in the room. All right. Not interested in either a buy or sell. If you had to point a gun to my head, I would say sell, right? But I would wait to see a definitive move close. Now there's been moves on both directions. People are kind of trying to figure out where to take this. Vietnamese translation? Yes, I don't know. I don't see how you say. I do know one word. Hum nai, not hum nai, not today. Hum nai is today. I did learn one right. So again, so this is not an area that I'd like to participate in the market. All right. This is just a lot of indecision. I don't need to be a part of this. Let the market kind of come to you. Let the market decide on the direction, and then figure out a way to participate in that direction. All right. Okay, so let's call out some of these levels here and then move on to some of these other markets that you guys are all interested. I see that Tron is here. I might give Tron a little taste of what I see either in RBOB or Platinum. I know that he's very interested in those markets, so we'll give him we'll need to give Tron a bone every once in a while for his consistency in coming to my sessions on a daily basis here. Okay. PL and RBOB are his favorite. All right. So ADR high, 19,212. Okay. 19,212. Okay. ADR low, 18. Let's say 18. We're just gonna call it 18,970, guys. 970 is actually 69 and 75 cents, but I'm just gonna go with that. I like round numbers. Okay, we got settlement at 19,074.25. Wow, even saying the word 19,000 in the Nasdaq is a bit humbling. I have a hard time saying that number. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. So we got ASR. All right, which was technically, turn this off here. Okay, so we're well above some of these earlier numbers. This is probably going to get adjusted here with the open of the market, but we have 18,948. Okay, and we have way below here, we have 18,7749. I'm just going to call it 750. 18,750. All right. So we've already talked about some opportunities here, guys. Like right now, like I said, the best thing you can do in the NASDAQ market is to sit on your hands. Okay. Do something else, right? Get ready for 20,000. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to necessarily happen today, right? But, there's certainly not out of the realm of possibility, right? Right now, it's saying that we can get up to, on an average day, we should be able to get up to 19,200. Or 210. That's what it's saying. Okay. If I believe, hopefully you guys believe in some of these, what ADR is telling us, right? ADR is telling us that we have the possibility of getting up to 19,208 or 209, 210. That's what it's telling us, right? But my feeling is it's probably going to, make a little bit of maybe a little creep down to find a level where people can potentially manage their risk here a bit. All right. Maybe come back down to point of control, right? And gather up some more buyers. Or it could just, shoot up from here. But in any case, I'm not participating until I see a Bigfoot sighting. You guys all know what Bigfoot is, right? I need to see a sighting of Bigfoot, right? I need a big fat bar, one direction or the other, right? Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I'm seeing in the NASDAQ. Peeking up to see if there's any questions. I'm seeing the likes are up, which is excellent. Keep doing what you're doing, Carson. I appreciate it. Yeah. And then see what else here. So let's go ahead and move into the ES market. But I suspect that ES is probably behaving in much the same way right now. Probably, digesting, guys. Okay. We're digesting right on settlement, right? We are seeing some signs here that maybe there might be a little bit of a little bit of a pullback, right? This is probably, it looks a little bit more bearish. I'm not going to go into the 4-hour and the daily chart. I think we know from a high level exactly what the direction is here. So I'm just going to go ahead and focus in on the 30-minute chart and see what that has to say. We've made a, kind of a breach or kind of a look-see, see how many buyers are in this area. And they said, no, we're still here. So let's go ahead and locate the 9:30 bar from Wednesday. Okay, there we are. We're right on. So on top of value area high, on top of VWAP, on top of settlement price, everything that we look at, all jumbled in this area. And what has happened so far? Absolutely nothing. Okay, we're just kind of ranging. All right. So let's go ahead and call out these ADR high and ADR low levels. So we got ADR high here. Got ADR high here at what is that? 53.91. Okay, 53.91 high side. Okay, ADR low, and that is, let's call it 53.43. 53.43. It's technically 53.42.75, but again, I don't trade with a scalpel. I trade with a butcher knife, so I don't need that level of granularity. Okay, so 53.66 is settlement. All right, we're going to go ahead and open up. Well, ASR is already open, and we're well above it. And I expect that this is going to change on me, but I'm going to go ahead and make a note of it. So we have 53.48. That's what I think I saw. 53.48.75. Let's call it 53.49. 53.49 top side, and then below we'll say 5207. Okay, ASR low, 5207. Is that 5207? 5307. Sorry, 7. Okay, that's kind of what I'm seeing. ASR low. Yep, ASR low. All right, so like I said, we've already talked through some hypos. We're already kind of technically inside this value area. So there is a potential of value area acceptance play. I don't know if it's going to make that full traversal through this. Is a pretty large range. It could make it to certainly the top of ASR down to ADR. Okay, this we'll see how this candle closes in the next 14 minutes or so. But we had this kind of candle before, only to be followed by some more grinding price action to the upside. We had another attempt to go down, was met with buyers. So eventually they're going to be able. I'm assuming that the sellers are going to be successful in bringing the market down some. Okay, the question is when. All right, when is that going to happen? And like I said, I let them tell me when, and then I try to react to it after I see confirmation of it. Okay. All right. So that's again similar kind of story here, guys. If I'm going to be a buyer, let it be around ASR or ADR low, maybe point of control, maybe as low as this here EMA, which would be pretty deep, I would say. So there's a number of areas, reference levels that would be interested, here to the buy side. Really, the only thing that I'm interested potentially participating in is to the short side. But as soon as I say that, I'm always aware that somebody can step in and really drive this market even higher. This level here is also another area that would be considered an area where I would like to potentially sell. Okay, at least for a trade, not to hold on forever because the market is quite bullish. All right. Okay. So let's close off with a kind of quick review of the YM, and then we'll open it up to other markets here. Since it looks like it's going to have some additional time here. All right. So again, I'm not going to look at the daily or the 4-hour because I think we know what those are saying. I'm seeing way too many bars right at the moment, so I'm going to turn some stuff off here. I get easily overwhelmed with lines. So here we are. All right. So first things first, let's go ahead and draw in the fixed range volume profile. And see, Wednesday, we're going to look at for the 930 bar. Here it is. Drag that across. 1330, 430. Here we are. So we're well inside value. Okay. We did make a reversal off of value area high. We had a little bit of a trace back only for a continued move to the downside. So we bounced off of point of control. Really, as they call it, really a nothing burger for me. A lot of wicks on both ends, a lot of indecision in the markets here. Okay. So we have ADR high here, well above, right? So we're kind of in the middle of the range. So let's start calling some of these levels out here. We have top side 39,081. Okay. 39,081. 39,081. Just by looking at these ranges, guys, you can see how these ADR ranges are also increasing, right? We're getting newer ADR highs, right? 1, 2, 3. That's also another indicator that we are in a bullish market here. All right. ADR low, 38,680. Right? The higher highs and higher lows. Okay. 38,680. ASR. Let's turn off ADR and do ASR. Okay. So here we are. ASR. We have pretty much the same 39,063. Okay. ASR high. And then we have ASR low, 38,730. Okay. So similar view here, guys. Really difficult to participate in this, kind of slop. Okay, a case could be made that we get a continuation to the upside, but be honest with you, I need to see some sort of confirmed kind of bullish, candle crossing above settlement, crossing above structure, and then maybe I participate on the retrace. If I miss it, I miss it. I miss it. I'm not worried about that. I'm just more worried that I'm taking, a fair amount of risk for the opportunity. All right. If we do get above some of these levels here, get above value area high, then yes, 39063 is very much in the as a target zone. Okay. If we hang out here and we get, maybe a much more definitive candle on the open to the downside, then maybe we can say that we are headed to maybe some of these levels here. I don't have an anchor VWAP. Well, I'll go ahead and draw that in here. I do see a definitive low here, so I'm going to draw an anchor VWAP. Where is anchor VWAP? There we go. Click on here. All right, so that's again another area of support, right? So if we manage to stay above that, then that's also another area for potential higher move, right? At least I'm able to manage my risk. All right. If price closes, below VWAP, then I know that I'm wrong. If it stays above it, then I know that I could expect a, kind of continuation move to the upside. All right. Any questions on what I've shared? Again, guys, right now it's a lot of be very patient, I would say, today in these markets. I think we have the potential of remaining in a range here based on what I see here. All right, we are inside value from yesterday, and we've had, it's kind of, I would say, kind of more of kind of a digestion phase in the markets, right? They're digesting to understand where they want to take the markets next, right? So that's really what I have for the standard markets. If Tron will allow me, I'm gonna take a look and see on RBOB, which I don't think I've actually looked at. So it'll be interesting for me to look at that a little bit if I can type it correctly. You need money, market doesn't care. All right, so let's do RBOB. Okay, which is I guess refined gasoline futures, I guess. All right, so let's start off here on the daily, and we've actually been kind of in a free fall until recently on gasoline prices, which is, I can't say that it's really been translated to the pump all that much. Okay, I'm still paying, was it $4.99 a gallon for gas here in California? Low fives. Okay, some places. Okay, and don't tell me what you're paying, because that's going to cause me to want to move. Okay. All right. So we've been kind of bearish, I would say, of late. We have come into an area of support in the gasoline market, right? I don't know exactly what the Tron could help me here as far as what the tick size are, and what you get per tick in gas, and what a point is in gas. So, but in any case, we're down into this area of demand. We've had a couple of candles that would indicate that maybe there might be a little bit of a push. We are below this EMA. So again, my view on RBOB remains bearish. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. That 4-hour chart, again, we continue kind of these kind of like drop. So, I mean, it seems like we're a little bit overdue for another drop, right? If I look at how many of these candles before we got a drop, well, it looks like we're a little bit overdue here. Okay. Could that be an indication? So it's $4.20 per tick, Keith. Is that right? $4.20. That's kind of an odd price, but I don't know any better. So I'll take your word for it. Okay. So seems like we're a little bit overdue for this kind of move. So maybe we're starting to develop some structure that that could price to rally from here. We are above settlement price. We are, I think, technically above VWAP. I do see that we have an area here, okay, that potentially could be resistant here at 2.4128. This area here could be resistant. How do I know that? Well, I look to the left, and what do I see? A big fat red bar. All right. So this area right here could be resistant. If this is going to continue to rally, then this is the first area that I see that could pose some resistance for the bulls. I'm going to go ahead and draw in an anchor VWAP here just to get a feel for this move higher. Oops. Let's see. It's there somewhere, I think. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So, as long as we remain above this purple line, then I have to think that we have at least a fighting chance to get higher, right? We are a little bit away from it. We've had this candle break this, and now we're kind of, a little bit indecisive here, kind of stepping into these guys' territory. So these guys can step in anytime, okay, to the short side, right? So if I'm going to draw this maybe as a channel, which I do like to draw, right? Call me Picasso. Okay, so here we are. Do I draw it here? Yeah, maybe I draw it there. Okay, so we are technically above a channel, bearish channel to the upside. So we made above it. We are above it, right? The question is, are we going to rally from here to the upside? That's kind of the question that remains. A lot of indecision at the moment. All right. So 30-minute candle. 30-minute candle. We're above some things that I care about. Settlement price, VWAP, anchored VWAP in this case, and then we're below, right? So we're kind of developing a little bit of a, how we say, I don't know, to draw this as kind of a wedge or flag pattern, whatever you want to call it. Okay, some sort of consolidation pattern nonetheless, right? Now the question is, what direction is this going to move? Well, is it going to be up or is it going to be down? Well, the prevailing move has been up of late. All right, we're at a level that could be supportive, and we're starting to see some support. Okay, so maybe it is higher. Okay, maybe it is higher. If this candle can manage to close this way or better, I would say better, then maybe if price breaks above this wedge, right, then maybe there's an opportunity for price to continue. Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. Me too. I'm certainly in the market for a bicycle. Okay. Yeah, if prices continue to rise, for sure. Okay. All right. So I really don't know where to draw. I'm just going to assume that it's going to be the same as oil. So let's look at fixed range volume profile, and I'm just going to assume it's the same open as oil here. So we're just going to use 9 o'clock and drag that across to this. Okay, so we are above value, and we are currently testing the highs of value. All right, so as long as we do not close inside this value range, then I would have to say my humble opinion, and I know very little about this market. Yeah, same as oil. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, then my humble opinion is we are looking to go higher in this market, right? As long as we can stay above and not close inside value from yesterday and stay above settlement price, this could be a potential 3-bar reversal to the upside. Potential, I say, okay? Potential, but I still need to see a bullish bar. some sort, okay, for a continued upside move in RBOB. All right. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I'll add ADR here. So, doesn't surprise me that we're in the middle of the range, right? We've been in the middle of the range on everything today, with respect to ADR and ADR low. Let's see, ASR. I've never opened up ASR for this. So we have some new levels here, ASR levels, 2.354 on the top side, 2.34 to the bottom side. So those would be kind of some logical levels where I would want to fade up here, go long down here. That's kind of what I'm looking at on RBOB. All right. Okay. Any questions, Tron? Are you long? Is your bias long on RBOB? That's what it looks like to me. That you should be looking for long opportunities in RBOB, especially if we can get a close above VWAP here. That might end with some volume. You see the volume is starting to pick up here. So, all right, guys. Well, I think that's it for me. You waiting for my analysis? I just gave it. My view is that maybe it's going to head higher, right? My view is higher prices in RBOB, which is not good. As I'm going to be with Pabi and Nice, I'm going to be looking for my bicycle, getting it out of storage and start to ride my bicycle around town because, all right. Coach, what's the relation with CAD, or will you give us a take at 7 p.m.? CAD, you're talking the relation of gas prices with the currency, Canadian currency? Is that what you're asking? All in the mind? Okay. Yeah, let's leave that topic for group coaching. That's probably a bigger topic. And we're already at the bottom of the hour, and I don't want to compromise anyone's ability to trade the open. Okay. All right. So we'll see what we'll talk maybe a little bit more correlations. All right, in some of the currency pairs with some of these futures. Okay. I'll make a note of that. All right. Okay. So I think that's it, guys. I think that's all I have for today. Again, now I see more likes than people in the room, which is a good indication. All right. So I think that's it for me. Just want to encourage people to trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys. So just a reminder, I will be part of Coaches Takeover today in Top Step TV. I believe that's, what time is that? I think it's, well, anyway, at some point this afternoon, I will be in Top Step TV with coaches. All right. I'll be part of the coaches panel, trying to see if there's something I can potentially take as far as a trade. These power hour times are not a very good times for me because I don't really look at the equities all that much. And that time of day is not my prime time. My prime time is this time here, morning. Okay. All right, guys. I think that's it for me. Gonna wish you again a nice and safe trading session, and until our next meeting, which could be later this afternoon, or maybe I'll catch some of you in Top Step TV during the Coaches Takeover segment of the Top Step TV. All right, guys. So trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Bye, guys.